What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today it is a green day over here in the cryptocurrency market. And if you look over there on the right side of the screen, the top performer of the day is the XRP price chart for today. So we'll spend quite a bit of time here talking about the XRP price chart and what's going on. With price up 12% today, price did even pop right in here before the daily candle closed and the weekly candle closed last night after being stuck sideways for nearly 48 hours, and we're now up about 15% since that has happened. Throughout the weekend, this was pretty much what happened throughout the cryptocurrency market, just completely stuck in a little range. Bitcoin was the exact same story, just super tight consolidation, and then finally it got a breakout. And it's always odd when you see it like that it can go so flat like that, but then it did eventually break out, as did XRP. So in this video, we're primarily going to focus on the XRP price chart. I am going to be putting out two different videos today. There are some really interesting things going on over on the total altcoin market cap that we're going to dive into. And I'm just going to primarily focus on an entire video on this. But if you know, last week when we discussed, we were talking about, hey, look, the total altcoin market cap, excluding Bitcoin and excluding Ethereum, has pulled back to a 702 Fibonacci retracement based on the entire rally that took place from June all the way through November. We pulled back to a 702 retracement in here, while at the exact same time, Bitcoin had finished up this fractal that it had been following since September. So interesting things going on over here with Bitcoin, right? Is it done with it? You could see in here in these circumstances a double tap of the bottom, which has not occurred, and price is extending a little bit higher. So continue to monitor that. Has it deviated? Has it broken away from it at this point? Time will tell. But the main point of this is what I'm saying is we completed the fractal. Altcoin market cap hit the 702 Fibonacci retracement from the rally that took place from June all the way through November. And at the same time, XRP has had a similar structure to what we've seen several times before, where we typically see some type of a crash, a retrace back to retracement levels, a reaccumulation, and that how it can lead to a big bull run afterwards. And if you notice here on Bitcoin, it had a retracement to the 618 retracement level, as did XRP before revisiting the lows. And now we're getting a nice pop over here on XRP, right? So a lot of excitement over there. Price is now up 40% off of the lows. And while we're getting this nice price pop happening over in here, in the end, for me, my bigger, grander perspective is that it's still just a waiting game for it to, recover for itself and do what I've always wanted XRP to do, to go on a true bull run. So is there anything that is happening here specifically indicating some big breakouts happening? Tomorrow we're going on a big bull run, or next week we're going on a big massive bull run? No, there's not anything indicating that. The good news is that, hey, it's bouncing off of these price levels. That's really good news. But when we look to what typically happens in these things is that the price does eventually pull back down into these price levels again, and it has to work it out, and then it can step up and go and go. And even in Bitcoin's situation down in here, right, this took a long time. Every time it had a nice breakout, right, oh boy, we're reversing. And let's kind of zoom in on that and see what that looked like during real time, right? When you're back in here and you're breaking up like that, you're thinking, oh boy, look, we're reversing, we're heading back up to the upside. And remember, at this time when this is happening, you can look over here, there's this big wick happening in here, right? Live in real time, it didn't look like that, right? The price was all the way up here back to 7,000. Everything's going to be okay. But then price does pull back, and it takes a while to work itself out. So when I look at stuff like this, I'm like, hey, this is great. This is good news. Hey, it's indicating that this was a really positive sign to see that happen down here, because this is what a normal structure does, a normal accumulation consolidation structure does. But it doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to go in a straight line. And the reason I say these things is because of the extreme volatility that we have and all the emotions we were just experiencing just a couple of weeks ago, and really just a few days ago. February 4th, we were down here at 60 cents. So when you have this big of a volatile range, when we see prices go up like this, extreme excitement happens with 30% rises. But totally normal structures, you still lose another 20% again for it to give a big pullback. So just I keep these things in mind, that it's very nice to see that the price has popped to the upside, but I don't sit here and think to myself, it has to go in a straight line the whole time. right? That's just reasonable expectations based on every time we've had bottoms come in. You can see that these things happen and how much working out of these zones end up occurring. That there's typically always a lot of working out that ends up happening in here. And that, you can kind of look at this one down in here too, right? So you see this break happening right here. You see all these breaks happening, but then what ends up happening? These things pull back and then they move up to a new level. Then they pull back and move up to a new level. And as you can see right here, we've moved up to a new level. There is no pullback in here. Could it just keep going on its way up? Sure. I would love it if it would, but that's going to be predicting extremely short-term price action and what's going to happen in here. And it's hard to say that that would occur. But what would be very normal would just be, stepping up, right? But the thing that I'm going to be talking about in the next video, more deep diving into all this chaos you see here on this screen right now. I've got a bunch of wave counts and fractals and lines of interest and all this stuff on here that we're going to talk about in another video. But the thing that I'm pointing to is that this is a very good sign for a bottom to come in for the market. We know that because 702 reacts all the time. And this is an awesome sign to see all of this get completed and then the price of Bitcoin start rolling back up. All these things are great for the bigger picture. Even seeing XRP pop up is awesome for the bigger picture. It's just right in line with what everything else in the market is saying. We see the 702 retracement on the total altcoin market cap, excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum. We see Bitcoin completing the fractal. We see XRP doing a crash, retrace, reaccumulation, and we see XRP bouncing off the lows. These are all great, great signs. And I'm sure people would love for me to come on right now and be like, we're going to the moon. And, that's my bigger, broader perspective is that, yeah, going to the moon. But, right, these things work out for a minute usually. And being here long enough, I know that when we see these big green lines that are coming up right here, and when we zoom out on it, it doesn't look like a big green line. But when we zoom in on it, it is a big green line. This is 40% off of these lows. People start to FOMO. I don't have a way to know what's going to happen in the immediate short-term price action, but I can look to the past and say what typically happens in these circumstances. And what typically happens is that we do pull back down. So even when we look at this breakout right here that took us from 36 cents all the way up to near $2, how did things play out, right? Every time there was this big breakout that occurred, what happened? Pullback. Big breakout, pullback. Big breakout, big pullback, right? Every time there were pullbacks that came back no matter what in here. The only time that there became a big breakout that didn't immediately pull back was when it broke through what? The 702 Fibonacci retracement and kept on going. So are we anywhere near breaking through a 702 Fibonacci retracement? Nope, not even close. That's all the way up here at $1.50. If we got to $1.50 and we start cranking our way through there, I'd be saying, man, this thing might just be gone at this point. But as we're working our way up there, what typically happens? Lots of volatility to get our way up there. So exciting to see some positive green price action, especially where it's coming from. Break down here at the lows from a crash, retrace, reaccumulation, along with the total altcoin market cap being at the place that it's at, 702 retracement, and Bitcoin completing its fractal. All positive things, all exciting. And while we can celebrate that it has bounced here off the lows, the big thing for me moving forward for XRP is, and it's going to be impossible for me to predict. This I remember this. This is not predictable short-term price action. All of this chaos that happens in here, working your way back up. I remember going through this time period and everything was all about the 702 retracement, getting back to here. And if we got through the 702, it would get chaotic. Right when we got through it, once we cranked through it, it was at that moment, whoa, watch out, here we go. And that's again the type of circumstance that we're going to be in right now. Now it's going to be hard to predict what the chaotic price action is going to look like getting back to this level, but all focus is now being on, can we get back to these retracement levels right up in here, and can we get through $1.50, $1.55? If we can get through here, again, I'm going to be looking for something like this to occur. And you can see even in here what happened with Bitcoin during this time period, or excuse me, what happened with XRP during this time period. This was a crash, retrace, reaccumulation down to the lows, and then it had to work its way back up to the 702. The second it broke through it, that's when the game was on. That's when the fun was on. And that's the phase that we're in right now. No idea if it'll take this long or if it'll go really fast, but it's going to be about trying to work our way all the way back to here after completing a crash, retrace, reaccumulation, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, getting back to here and breaking through there. We break through there, you're going to see me get pretty ridiculously excited. But until then, we've just got to get our way up there. But based on what we're seeing over here on the total altcoin market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that Bitcoin seems to have wrapped up all of this stuff, it looks pretty optimistic that that process is already underway. The thing I just keep in the back of my mind is how volatile it can be to get back up to that price level. And while this is really exciting and it's awesome to see it come off the lows, I definitely expect volatility will still be in the cards until we get there. But all right, that'll wrap it up for this one. If you guys missed it yesterday, I was on the On the Chain Live YouTube channel. We had a live stream last night, interviewed by Chip and Jeff. I had a wonderful time over there on their channel. Thank you guys so much for having me on. You can see right here, you can check this out over there on their YouTube channel. Give them a subscribe. Otherwise, we'll wrap this thing up. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you're looking for something to do, you can check out my website over here, bcbacker.com. This is a course that I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the previous altcoin market cycles, I tie them all together, showing how the cryptocurrency market has worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in here, and I teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro so you can do your own charting. I talk a lot about mathematics and percentages and why those are so important to me. And I do have the most recent market update in there on January 31st. And you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.